Hello everyone, welcome back. And we left our sculpt in this stage in the previous video, and today we'll be adding the last touches, so adding the fat everywhere where it needs to be, and then we will be also kind of perfecting the forms how they should be, so this will turn into a full fleshed out head. So without further ado, let's start right away, and let's start with making a neck. For this we will be masking this part and then go into this side and inverting the mask, and then we will pull this down we'll pull also the neck a bit forward, so it should be somewhere here, and this part should go in. Yeah, and now let's increase the resolution and remesh this part. Let's decrease the strength for brush. I recommend you decrease the strength on this stage and on later stages, because we won't be adding a lot of mass like we did in the previous video. So we added a lot of new things, but in this video we won't be doing that, because we are just adding the last touches to this sculpt to get this head to look decently. So this Adam apple will do like this. So there are bones, like one bone that goes like this, and it protects your throat, so that if you hit there you can still breathe and you won't die. And also it protects your voice cord, so you don't lose your voice that easily. Yeah, so we'll add a bit like this, little muscles on the neck, and the neck is done. Now let's go to the face and start adding the fat and the skin, so that our sculpt looks like a real person. So this fat, this area has thick fat here, and we also have a bit of fat on this cheek. This, or we don't have a lot of fat on our forehead, but there is skin, so it kind of smoothes out all of the details, so everything looks more smooth. And a little fat there and there. And this part below the eyelid, lower eyelid, there is a fat. It goes like across, goes on the muscle, so it creates this sort of eye bags on below the eye, and the older your character is, the more prominent these eye bags will be. And you also add a bit of fat on the nose, and this work a bit on the shape of the nose. There is the around the mouth, there is not a lot of important fat, but it is important to know this shape of the mouth and how it should look. So you should look at a lot of references. Then practice a lot and smooth out these parts a bit, and add a little bit to the chin, and fat there, a lot of fat below the jaw, and so this part is very important for very young characters. You won't see this muscle and this part, so when you make older characters, this skin there will be a little saggy there, so it kinda sags like this, and you can see how this creates this older look in the character. And in this part there is fat that goes there, and there is these things that generate saliva. There is one there and one there, so on top of them there is a lot of fat that protects them, so kind of smoothes out this jawline. think we're done with the path. Now let's smooth all of this and add a little more detail. So this part of the mouse made it a little more prominent, so we'll pull it back a bit. And now let's start with the eyes. So first of all, this part, there is some skin that sags a bit, so it goes there and it kind of stands on the upper eyelid. It is very prominent in older people or in Asians or in some people, so someone may have this very prominent line, kind of, and so you gotta look at your references. And let's work on this. Goes like this. It is more prominent on the lower side, so it sucks with the gravity, so this upper part is not very prominent. A lot of the things that happen with age, they happen with the gravity, so you need to make sure that you take into account the gravity and the age of your character. Now let's get our smooth brush, so I'll decrease the strength and start smoothing these big areas. It is important to not apply a lot of smoothing, so you need to smooth out things, the imperfections that you made with your brush, but you should retain all of the details that are important, so don't apply a lot of pressure. And we're almost done. Now let's go to the eyes, and there you need to apply very little pressure so that you don't miss, you don't destroy all of the detail that you made. And let's go to the ear and also apply very little pressure, but since we made our ear with very little resolution, it got like this. So we'll need to sculpt a bit, so kind of just go over it and like this, and we're done. Now let's smooth this and smooth this part a bit, little by little, and our ear looks okay. Now as you can see, the character, the head looks a lot more like a real person. Now let's just add a bit more detail. So in this part there is the muscle goes there, and there's a bit of fat on the muscle. Yeah, it creates this kind of crease. So we'll do this and smooth it like this, and then add this again and smooth this, so you can see like this. And then this part we'll add a bit and then smooth again, so we're adding the details that we lost when we smooth out everything. So there is nothing really new, and we will inflate this, then use crease brush for this, and the white lips like that, and let's create these lines for the lips. And on lower lip there is crease that goes like this, and these creases like this. And now let's smooth everything again. This part, so it should start narrow the top and then kind of come like this and smooth it a bit. And now let's go to the eyes again and work on this part. So you can also add a little imperfections like that. And now this part in older people again, this part, so from this outer part of the eye, from moving your eye, from blinking a lot throughout your life, there becomes like this creases form. So adding them can create this older look in the eyes. And then this part, so this you can make it sag a lot more if you're making very old character. I'll leave it like this. So this chin goes this muscle, it connects there, so chin should go like this. This skin sagging, we can add little details like this, then smooth out and like that, and then in this part add a bit of the mass like this, and this part like very subtle, so there is crease that goes like this and it kind of connects there. So smooth it out. So as you can see, there is a little bit of detail there. It is very important that it is very subtle. And let's add skin sagging there. And we're done. Now this is finished sculpt. If you haven't seen the previous video where we went through the muscles of the face in head, I suggest you watch it, and if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one.